Welcome to Dr. Charles Speaks, a podcast for now. Dr. Charles is a nationally recognized Fortune 500 business leader, a former adjunct professor, speaker, and ministry founder. With over 30 years of exceptional performance in both business and ministry, he will share his profound approaches to developing successful leaders. Let's get motivated with Dr. Charles Speaks, inspiring excellence and generating results.
Welcome, my friends, to another discussion on leadership. I want to thank you today for joining me on this podcast. It is my pleasure once again to share with you, to encourage and to motivate you, and to get you off of stuck and moving in the right direction. I've said it before, I'll say it again. My mission is adding life purpose through teaching and growing others. While developing leaders is my vision. To do what? To uncover their full potential. That means you, through transformational leadership. On the last time, we talked about transformational leadership. Well, what is it all about? It is about coming together. It is about coming together and learning from each other and imploring and instituting the things that are going to make us all better by taking the insights from each and every one, from their bank of diversity, from their bank of experience, from the bank of being able to pour into each other's lives and taking the lump sum and going forth and transforming not only yourself, but others as you encounter. We talked about transformational leadership that brings the stimulation, the intellectual stimulation, the challenge of the status quo, being able to be creative and allowing your followers to be creative as well, encouraging them to explore new ways of doing things and new opportunities to learn. We talked about individualized consideration. That is, involving folks and supporting them with encouragement in order to foster this supportive relationship. Transformational leaders, we do what? We keep the lines of communication open so that followers feel free to share ideals and so that leaders can offer direct recognition of the unique contribution of not just one, but the contribution of each follower, because I truly believe each person has something of value that they can contribute. And then we talked about inspirational motivation, because transformational leaders, they do this. They have this in common. That is a clear vision that they're able to articulate to those that follow. And these transformational leaders are able to help followers experience the same passion that they have, the same motivation that they have, because they're able to see where they're going. They're able to understand and see the clear vision in order to fulfill the goals that have been set. And then we spoke on the idealized influence. And that's simply saying that transformational leaders, they serve as role models for followers, because followers learn to trust and to respect the leader, and then they in turn will emulate the leader and internalize the things that they've learned and put them into action. And so I want to continue the discussion, because teamwork is a big part of this transformational leadership, because leadership is a leadership style that can and should inspire positive changes in those who follow. You remember, I may have shared before, there was a game that we used to play when I was a child, and we used to call it King of the Hill. You remember that, some of you. And the object of the game was to climb to the top of the hill and to knock everybody else off that was trying to get to the top, because there could only be one person at the top of the hill when the game was over. So there was a lot of people falling off the hill, pushed off the hill, stepped upon, stepped over, and eventually the person who would get to the top pretty much had wore everybody else out, and they would stand tall on the top of the hill and pound their chests. I won. Look at me. I am the champion. Well, that has played out, my friends. This is about allowing for everyone to make a contribution coming up the hill and to hold hands and to make sure that everybody's opinion is included and that the strategy is that they all get there and all raise their hands together and all celebrate and enjoy the fact that it was us that did it. It was we that did it versus look at me and look what I did. We're changing, folks. If you don't know it or not, the I is leaving and the we and the us is coming in. It's a new thing for many of you. It's not about just you. It's about the whole team. You've heard me say it. I can't repeat it enough. The day that you stop growing yourself is the day that you forfeit your potential. The day you stop growing yourself is the day you forfeit your potential. And I don't want anybody to forfeit your potential because you have something to offer. You have something to deposit in the lives of others that's going to make your community, your neighborhood, your job, your family, it's going to make us all better. And the more people that we make better, the more positive contributions that we can deposit, the better the world's going to be, the better society is going to be, the better the legacy you're going to leave for generations to come. And so the day is to stop being about yourself, but more about others. And that kind of ties into another subject that we can talk about later. I'm sure we will. And that's servanthood leadership, because transformational leadership goes hand in hand with servanthood. Because when you think about team on transformational leadership, servanthood is all about what can you do to pour into others to make them better? What deposits can you make for the betterment of the entire team? So that's going to be so important when you talk about transformational leadership and then tying that into servanthood leadership. But I implore you today, because when we talk about this transformational leadership, we're really talking about something that you probably are already doing, but now you're making a little bit more focus on it because you understand that in of yourself, you can't do it alone. But when you invite like-minded people in and you're able to have those discussions and have those questions answered and to be able to chart a way that is laser focused, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish individually and what you can accomplish as a team and organization. And that's really the secret sauce when you add the fact of being among the best at what you do by collecting all of the diversities of experiences and insights and being a continuous learner, always being open to learn and accept new creative ways of doing things. Then you're going to see that the result of that is going to be impactful and even far-reaching. And when you think about it, I think about what Peter Drucker said. He said, if you want something new, you got to stop doing something old. And that's what it comes down to when you talk about transformational leadership, because the reality today where we stand, we cannot become what we need by remaining what we are. So it is a charge that I am giving you to continue to grow yourself each and every day and to gravitate to the things that are going to make a difference versus the things that's not going to add up to much and do not much for anybody. But it's important that we do the things that are going to grow ourselves and we do the things that we can share with others to make them better along the way. And so the key message that I want to share with you in all of this that we've been talking about is that you too can become and continue to build upon being a transformational leader by following a few things. Here's a few steps. One is to create a inspiring vision of the future. Like I've said, when people can see where they're going and how they're going to get there, and they stay focused on that and keeping that tangible picture in front of themselves, visualizing success, visualizing that they will get there, though it may be one step at a time. This is one of the keys that if you follow this, you will be successful as a transformational leader, because you must be able to see it, because when the mind can perceive it, it certainly can achieve it. I'm reminded of an example. I've shared this before of a mother who raised her children. They all graduated from college. She was a stay-at-home mom. She poured her heart and soul in raising those children, and they were successful. But she decided that she was going to go back to school herself because she never finished college. She never went to college. And many of her friends said, well, look, you're in your 40s now. What's the sense of going back to school? You've done a great job in raising a wonderful family. And she just had something within herself that was a burning desire, and she had a vision that she would go back to school and study, and she would graduate. And so she decided to enroll, and she was accepted in her freshman semester. She decided to pick up her books, but when she got there to the bookstore, she noticed a cap and a gown, and she tried it on, the robe, and she put the cap on, and she looked into the mirror, and she saw herself. But she saw herself with a vision 4 years later that she too would walk across the stage like her children and receive her diploma. And she would return to that bookstore in her sophomore year, in her junior year, in her senior year, and she eventually graduated. Well, what does this all mean? She had a vision. It was an inspiring vision. And she was able to put a tangible something that she could see and she could visualize, and that it would serve as a reminder each and every school year until she was able to finally walk across the stage. Well, you and I have a vision. I know you do. And can you see it? And can you begin to make steps towards it? Perhaps they're even baby steps at first. Maybe the bar is set low, but never give up on your vision. If you can only see it, I believe you can achieve it. Number 2, motivate people. That's what leaders do. Motivate people to buy into and deliver the vision. You're going to need help. And it's going to come from the depths of your passion. It's going to come from the clarity of your vision. It's going to come from the energy and the insights of how to get there, that you're going to be able to stimulate the minds and motivate the minds of those that will help you get there, because you can't get there by yourself. It's going to take people. I have talked to complete strangers along my journey of learning and growing, but I have targeted like-minded people who have a similar viewpoint of leadership and how to help people and what we can do to make the world better. And we've learned from each other, and I've been motivated, and I motivated others as I've talked to them. And we've been able to get buy-in and deliver on the things that we thought we could do, but we realized that we couldn't do it alone. Number 3, manage that delivery of the vision. You've got to stay on it. You can't just write it down, take a picture, put it on your refrigerator, and forget about it. It has to become a constant reminder. It has to become that box along that vision that you are looking forward to, that day that you can put a check inside that box of completion, knowing that it has been done, and then you put another box, because every round goes higher and higher. The vision gets bigger, and the impact gets bigger. So, number 4, you want to build an ever stronger trust-based relationship with your people, because when your people trust you, they will follow. If they can't trust you, it's going to be a difficult journey, because there will always be doubt in their minds. Just remember, there's a quote that Bill Gates said. He said this as it relates to transformational leadership. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. That's going to be key. And so that's what it's going to take, my friends, in transforming your lives and transforming the lives of others around you and making a positive difference. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I trust that this has been helpful. Now let's go to work and let's make it a great day and a great week. Until next time, you've been listening to Dr. Charles.
Thank you for listening to Dr. Charles Speaks. Visit drcharlesred.com for booking info for your ministry, business, or leadership team. Get info about the Red Line, a 15-minute corporate success call each Monday morning with Dr. Charles. Follow Dr. Charles on all social media at Dr. Charles Red. Subscribe to the podcast here for every episode of Dr. Charles Speaks. Thanks for joining us. Like Dr. Charles always says, No matter what, never, never, never give up. Until next time.